What a tremendous honor and privilege it is to be a part of this symposium on a subject of critical importance to all of us in Jamaica and the Caribbean at this time, and to share this moment with my friend, the Honorable Horace Chang, Minister of National Security, and equally so, Lieutenant General Meade of the JDF and the Caribbean Military Academy. This is a significant moment in the nation's evolution. Let us step back a little while and speak to the Jamaica that came into being in 1962, a very proud and iconic movement and moment in the evolution of the Caribbean. Jamaica is erupting from 307 years of British imperial domination. But in those 307 years, the majority of Jamaican citizens were trapped in the circumstance of slavery and colonization. Jamaicans, therefore, are putting this history behind them and paving the way for a new dispensation. And in so doing, leading the rest of the Caribbean along this trajectory. Jamaica in 1962, therefore, had a very distinguished and extraordinary history. It was a history characterized by three fundamental pillars: a deep, humanist struggle for freedom and justice, moving against the pandemic of massive poverty. Indeed, in 1962, 60% of the adults who were the nation builders and citizens of Jamaica were classified as functionally illiterate and dwellers in slums. So, in effect, the philosophy of nation building, the commitment to civil social order and justice, is coming from the majority community. At the same time, there is also intellectual maturity and dynamism, this artistic genius which is seeking its way to define the nation, alongside this commitment to justice, this intellectual fervor and artistic brilliance. These are the pillars of the Jamaica that was created in 1962. At the center of that creation was a profound sense that security was critical for the sustainability of the nation. Indeed, that security was necessary to protect the sovereignty of the nation. And the nation was a construct dedicated to the building of a just society for everyone. But that was in phase one of nation building. 50 years of nation building in this first phase. What we are entering now at this moment is phase two of Jamaica's nation building. And phase two has to be a transformation of those features of phase one. So let us look at where we are now in respect of this phase two. First of all, there was some headwind. There wasn't enough support for the phase one nation building project. Indeed, when Sir Alexander Bustamante traveled to Britain in 1962 to discuss a golden handshake for Jamaica, after 300 years of the extraction of wealth from Jamaica by Britain, Sir Alexander went to discuss the golden handshake. And he was denied that golden handshake, and knew therefore that Jamaica was going into nation building on its own, without that support from the former colonial exploiter. Then there was also this urgency around the internal situation. Jamaica had inherited an enormous colonial mess. It now had to turn this colonial mess into a sophisticated nation. It was an enormous task. Without reparations, it would have been an enormous task to clean up this colonial mess it had inherited and turn Jamaica into a sophisticated nation. We have to commend those who have been responsible for nation building in phase one, because for near 60 years of effort, the Jamaicans have succeeded in building a sophisticated country that is committed to justice, is committed to democracy, is committed to humanity. However, there are internal challenges. But these are challenges that can be overcome. So while we celebrate the victories of converting this colonial mess into a modern global nation that punches above its weight in international and regional fora, there are some issues to be addressed in the role of education for all. There is a role for civil society to continue to press for social upliftment. And importantly, there is dire need for economic reform. The United Nations Development Program has said that the Caribbean economy is characterized by extreme inequality. Jamaica is a part of that Caribbean world. A large number of citizens who continue to dwell in poverty consider themselves economically marginalized. Much of the conflict in the society exists on the margins of the economy, where the poor is seeking to penetrate into the heartland of the national economy. These are issues now to be addressed in phase two. So what will phase two of nation building look like? First of all, there is need for a new guard, a reset, so to speak, to build a better, greater, more just Jamaica. Security, sustainability, and sovereignty are the forces that reside at the base of what is modern Jamaica. This phase two in nation building should be committed to strengthening the relationship between these forces. There are some things that we do know. Look at the assets that we have available. Jamaicans are proud of their country. Jamaicans are nationalists in the sense that they are committed to protecting and projecting their Jamaica. The citizens have a deep commitment to nationhood. The question now is how to convert these assets into revenue at the level of the community. How can we minimize the inequality within the economy? How can we liberate the energy that exists and the creativity that exists at the heart of Jamaican identity and convert this into economic development for all? This, I would like to imagine, is the role of the symposium. This is the role I would imagine that this symposium would take to heart in the search for new ideas and new thinking about phase two of Jamaica's nation building for the 21st century. The intellectual capacity is here within this symposium. I urge you all, therefore, to get your heads down and go to work. Thank you and have a wonderful engagement.